Hello, hello. How's it going? How's everybody? How was your weekend? I hope everything was okay. I am back. Well, I never really left from your perspective at least. I usually have a set of videos a little bit scheduled ahead of time just in case I have any downtime. This way, I always have a video scheduled for the week. Now I don't have any more video schedules, so I'm off my lazy ass and recording a video for this week. And if by any chance I don't get to have a video next week, it was probably because I was pretty lazy. But I'll try not to do that. I'll try and keep myself to the promise of making sure I make a drawing a week, and making a video is what keeps me on track. It forces me to do that drawing. Moving away from my laziness to today's drawing. For today, I wanted to try this new to me Parker fountain pen. I mean, it is a new model as far as I can tell, unused. Comes from China. I believe these old and probably even new Parker Urban are made in China, but from China, came from China. I really like the shape of it. I like the metal and even the pattern that it has on it. And I've always been curious about it. It looks like a very elegant pen. And when I received it, I have to admit, holding it and playing with it felt actually very pleasant. Everything seems well built on the pen, nothing sharp on it. I like that curve that it has on it, an hourglass-like shape. I like how the caps on it and how well and secure it's in place. Even the section to me is quite pleasant, and that step up between section and barrel is not intrusive at all. I mean, you do feel it, it's just I don't find it an issue. Even though for a second when I was looking at the pictures, I did think it might be an issue. The only thing of disappointment that I've seen with the pen just by holding it in hand and working with it was basically the fact that it doesn't actually post, which it was a little bit of disappointment. As I show in the video, I'm trying to show how it will look if it is posted, and especially for drawing, I think I would have found it very comfortable when I hold it a little bit higher up to do loose lines. The balance is actually pretty good. It's right in the middle of that thin place on the barrel, the thinnest spot on the barrel. So it's quite neutral in balance when it's not posted. But when you hold it a little bit higher up and having that extra reach for drawing, I think it would have been nice. I don't know if that is an issue with all of them or only with the specific unit and design that I have in my collection. But yeah, unfortunately, as I was holding it and playing with it, that was the only disappointment. However, as I started to actually use it and filling it up and actually drawing and writing with it, turned out that unfortunately that was not the only issue. Turns out that this unit that I have kind of came with a lot of problems, which turned out to be a little bit frustrating. Starting with the writing. First of all, for today, I decided to use the Parker Black Quick ink or Quink ink just to give it the best chances. And since I haven't used this ink in a while, I thought, why not? One thing that I found as an issue, as I was trying to fill it, I tried to prime it as I usually do. You basically put ink in pen, then you slide down and then you slide it up again, and turn out that the metal ball that it's inside the converter that it comes with, it's maybe a little bit too large, because it was sealing the hole that was connected to the nipple of the section, and every time I was trying to push the ink down, I couldn't. So it scared me. I thought that maybe the ink was bad and it sucked in some sludge, and now my pen was clogged. Turned out that no, the ball was the problem. So I actually had to unpack it, remove the ink, clean it, take the converter apart, remove the ball from the converter, put everything back together and refill it. When you saw me refilling it, that was basically the second time when I was trying to refill it, because the first time didn't really work. With that issue aside, I thought that, okay, that's fine. The big ball, the oversized bearing ball, maybe not that much of a big deal. Fill it up, finally worked okay, started writing, and I don't know, it has a very weird feeling. When I was writing with it without ink, just to see how the nib glides on the page, it felt okay, but after I put the ink inside of it and the way it was working, it felt like the nib or tip of the nib is not leveled, and it was giving me weird lines, and it's like the pen was moving as I was trying to write. Hard to describe the feeling. So I was not really impressed. Also, there was a lot of skipping, especially when I was trying to write a little bit faster. Even when I'm doing that quick movement at the end, that flourishing, it skipped a lot. Slowing down, it helps, but not by much. So 3 things going against it by that point, and I was like, okay, fine, skipping maybe not that much of a big deal when I'm gonna go into the drawing, since usually I do like drier nibs for my type of drawing. It actually helps me to get those skippy lines and allows me to blend more lines together and usually slowly build them up in there. I don't have to be more careful and more light with the lines when I have a drier nib. So I thought, yeah, that should help me. And it did. It actually worked out pretty good as I was doing the drawing until I stopped putting any lines on the page. So for a while, it was completely dry. And I tried to clean the tines because I thought that maybe because of the paper, as I usually do with this paper, some fibers got stuck between the tines, and I cleaned the nib, and then it happened again, and it was a little bit frustrating because the nib looked clean, and then I opened it, I looked at the converter, and the entire ink, it was literally stuck at the top of the converter. So that ball for this converter seems to work, but it's oversized. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll just shake it. So I shook it, ink came down, I started drawing again, and it started leaking. So, so I literally had all the issues possible with this unit. It's been a while since I had a problematic fountain pen, and it was frustrating because it was going from being dry to being leaky to being perfectly as it should to, I don't know, it was just so frustrating. I stuck with it though. I actually completed the drawing with it as is, trying to work with the flaws that it has. I went into the mentality that, hey, this is the only pen that I have available and I really need to make this drawing and my life depends on it, right? Can I make it work? That was the mentality that I had. Usually that's the mentality that I approach. I try and don't use new fountain pens until I actually use it in a video. So if I have any issues, you basically see them as well as I go through it. Well, not necessarily see it, I guess, since I'm speeding things up, but I can tell you about the experience firsthand rather than 2 months from now, from what I remember. So yeah, the drawing in itself, I like it. Actually, I try something new. I have 2 pages that I try and splash them, literally splash them with some watercolor. Yes, Peter, believe it or not, I try to use watercolor in here. And I try to have like, I don't know, something a little bit different and maybe to make my drawing stand out and bring more life to it, have like a background to it, something else that will make it more dynamic. Pete, hey, if you have ideas, throw them at me. I started doing this, I did this a couple of weeks back before you gave me the idea of having backgrounds. I was like, hey, maybe I should use those two pieces of paper, see if it brings more life to my drawings. And yeah, if you have ideas on how to build some nice faded backgrounds that works with drawings on top, let me know. You and anybody else that might use watercolor in this way. Back to the drawing, I started drawing with it and I like this ink because it's a little bit more gray. It's not like black jet like you would have with the carbon platinum black. So this will allow me to build more layers. And it did. Actually, from that perspective, it worked very well. And 80% of the time, the pen worked as I was expecting it, based on the nib that I noticed it has. The only time when it decided not to work is when I needed it to work, but it decided to start dripping blobs of ink in areas that I didn't want to have any ink really. So I kind of had to use my creativity and try and work those blobs into the drawing and somehow mask them. I don't know if I did a good job. I don't know if you can tell where those blobs might have happened. At least I don't know if you can tell from this sped up time lapse that I have. In the end though, I did enjoy the drawing. I'm not sure what I turned out with. Seems to be some type of remains of a bird or some bird-like creature. I do like this thing, however. I will probably use it again next week, maybe in a fountain pen that hopefully will work, or I might reserve it for a different drawing in the future. Like I was mentioning, I did 2 of these paper. Both of them I have them, I guess, in different patterns, but both of them I use the red and blue. I do like the combination of red and blue. Actually, maybe next week I will try and use a blue ink on this paper to see how it will react with the blue behind it. Probably if I will use watercolor as a background and I need to use ink on top, I will probably use darker colors, like probably just black. This way will help me detach the drawing from the paint and it won't blend in. Unless I guess maybe blending in the drawing with the background might be a call. I don't know, things to try for the future, I guess. So yeah, I think next week actually I will try, and I think I know what I'm gonna try. I will try something with blue ink. Something that it's a little bit controversial for me because of the shape of the pen, which surprisingly turned out to be quite comfortable for me. Anyway, back to the fountain pen for today. Very, very frustrating experience. This pen seems to have quite a few issues going on for it. One, doesn't post. I don't know if all post. I've seen ads where the cap was posted on, so maybe it's just my unit, or at least the design of this metal frame that my unit has. Maybe it's a counterfeit. I mean, it is coming from China and you never know, even though by the design cues, by the logos, and by the clip design and all that, to me seems to be the genuine article, considering that it is made in China anyway, this model. And that brings me to you. Do you have this pen? Do you have this model or similar model to it? And do you have any issues? How does it work for you? Because for me, it was nothing but stress and annoyance. At the end, I'm flicking the pen because I'm just fed up with it. In the end, the drawing for today was done with a pen that I was really frustrated with. And I haven't had that experience with a pen for a very long time. I will try and fix the issues. I will try and fix the nib. I will definitely change that converter to see if it improves the issues. Usually if you have leakage in the pen, it's because of converter not sealing properly on the nipple of the section. With that said, I think I'm gonna stop here. I love the drawing that I got in the end, even though it was frustrating. It felt like I worked more than I should have. But I do like the drawing at the end result that I got. And hopefully next week, it will be a much more enjoyable experience for me with the fountain pen that I'm planning to draw with. I appreciate you for being here, for watching my video, for being subscribed, and for, I assume, liking this video, because I assume that's why you're watching it. Thank you, and I wish you nothing but a wonderful day or night, whatever you are. Take care. Bye.